here I am, your neighborhood insomniac. This is the Vegematic channel, not the Veg channel. I tried to take the name the Veg channel, but they wouldn't let me, because if you typed in veg on the search, I thought nice, simple, easy to remember, right? No, apparently if you type in veg, it's nowhere to be found, vanished, gone. So I'm back to being plain old Vegematic again, slicing and dicing and creating havoc in the tubular universe. Everywhere we look today, there's troubles. The world has troubles. I have troubles. You have troubles. We all have troubles. So what I'm here to do is to point out that the more of these troubles you concern yourself with, the worse you're going to feel. My suggestion is to turn off the internet, buy a piece of land somewhere, dig a hole in it, and bury yourself. Well, it looks like we're edging towards World War III, ever closer to World War III, and it's just marching on that way. Life isn't too bad though when you get old, because you can still see trees of green, red roses too, and I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. So did everybody see that fist bump? The fist bump that shook the world. Teddy Cruz and Josh Hawley, and they're all delighted. People dying from cancer and getting the treatment that they need. No, they're used up. They're not strong and fresh like Herr Drumpf. Speedy trials for all druggies. I don't know though. It's funny because you can watch all the crap, and you see those latest pictures of the guy. Man, he looks like a corpse. I mean, I thought Biden was a walking corpse, but it's a corpsocracy that is running America. I mean, God, incoherence and senility, dementia, not knowing where you are. I can relate to all those things, but I'm not trying to run a country. But it's not all bad getting old. You get everything. You don't get respect. You get your prescriptions paid for. That's a thing to look forward to when you get old. You don't have to work every day. That's something to look forward to when you get old. Of course, you'll be used up by that point, and it'll all be downhill. So you've worked all your life, and what do you got for it? Oh.
The loon is also called the Great Northern Diver.
Anybody that has followed this channel for a while will realize that I'm not a big fan of the freedom guys. And they tried to make an appearance in Ottawa again and disrupt things like they did last winter, and it was a big bust. But one of my favorite news stories that came out of that was that there were the group of them, and there were the Canadian maggots. I don't know what you'd call them, but they're certainly not normal people. Had their signs getting ready and everything. And a group of, God bless them, naked bicyclists drove right into them and surrounded them with naked bodies. They ran in all directions, horrified, gagging. And a word of thank you to those brave Ottawa cyclists cycling in the nude. That is truly a revolutionary act. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, and you get Vegematic's thumbs up. That doesn't sound good, does it? Now it seems like I've acquired a terrible habit of staying up late at night, later and later and later. And I used to do this regularly when I was painting full-time, doing my paintings and sloshing brushes around. And I still tend to think like an artist, and I do my best creative work in the middle of the night. So these videos are kind of the same thing, except that they keep me away from doing the other stuff. But you can't do everything all at once, right? Or I'd be like, playing the piano and singing and dancing nude, and it gets impossible. So and a paintbrush in one hand, and the logistics get difficult, and it's hard to physically. It's demanding. So no more physically demanding stuff for veg. Now, those of you might know that I live in Canada, north of the 49th parallel, in Ontario, the most populous province in Canada, and we have a public Medicare system which saved my life on numerous occasions. So, we also have an incredibly flatulent premier that people didn't vote because the media was so biased for conservatives, and this guy's going to build some big highway. Meanwhile, they can't retain nurses, and emergency rooms are closing in small towns. Why can't they recruit nurses? Because Mr. Flatulent Ford, see, he's really nothing to write home about. He's got this kind of almost an evil Pillsbury doughboy look about him. So what the Tories, or the Conservatives, which are the same thing, the Conservatives in Canada and Britain are both known as Tories. Now, what they are doing in England and also in Canada, especially places like Ontario, is starving the public system so they can privatize it. Yes, Flatulent Ford is wasting all kinds of money on, you guessed it, tax cuts for, you guessed it, the top people, the top of the dung heap, the slimy stuff that floats up to the top of the pond scum's too good a word for it. So I maintain the only good Tory is a suppository. Above all, I'd like to leave you with this message. The most important thing that any of us can be is kind. It's not difficult. In fact, it has been slowly squeezed out of humans. But you've got to remember when you look at anybody, and I don't care if it's the executive, somebody in the executive suite that drives a $100,000 vehicle and thinks he's king shit, or you look at the lowliest homeless person struggling just to stay alive. And we tend to make judgments, but all of us face different levels of challenges and difficulties in our lives. And the thing is, you got to keep getting up and getting up and getting up. And then, after a few times, there's no point being stupid about it. So, but you know what I mean. So I'd like to sign off with these words of wisdom. Nobody asked to be born into this life. We're thrown like a dog without a bone, or an actor out on loan. See you next time Be wonderful. Go on. It's within all of us to be a wonderful person. We've just forgotten how to do it. Now if I could just figure out where I put my keys.